Hello, my name is Beata Strittmatter. I am a doctor of acupuncture and naturopathy. On my YouTube channel, you can get advice on relationships and love. How can your relationship become better and healthier? Be sure, the soul is always involved. I would be happy if you would join me and subscribe to my channel. And now I wish you much joy with your insights. Adam Jackson once said, "We teach students to read and write, to add and subtract. We teach them what we think is part of a proper education, but we neglect the most important thing, how to love." If you are watching this video, you are searching for answers. Maybe something is going wrong in your relationship, or you're wondering why your partner has changed so much in recent years, or maybe you're already in a crisis where hurt and hurtfulness are the order of the day and you're thinking of giving up, or are you threatened by an external relationship? One thing seems clear: only those who avoid love can escape pain. A quote from John Brantner: "The good news is that whether you are in a male-female relationship or a same-sex relationship, there is help and solutions, and the laws that make your relationship work are the same for all couples." In over 30 years of naturopathic work as an orthopedic holistic pain therapist, general practitioner, acupuncturist, trainer, and medical examiner for the German Medical Association, I have noticed more and more that a major source of energy loss lies in the emotional sphere. Our life energy is similar to money. You can't spend an infinite amount of it. And if a strong emotion ties up a lot of energy, or a conflict consumes a lot of energy in order to be endured at all, there is often not enough left over for the immune system and normal healthy bodily functions. So most of my patients don't come to see me because of a couple's problem. They come to me because of pain, allergies, migraines, rheumatism, and strange complaints that could not previously be classified by conventional medicine. Over the last 25 years, I've been asked time and again, after giving talks on this energy and couples topic, finally write something to read up on. Here is a series of videos where you may recognize yourself in many practical case studies and find answers. During the birth of these texts, I spoke a lot with friends, therapists, had hundreds of counseling sessions in my practice, and conducted interviews with couples and half-couples, i.e. one partner. And my observation is that many women and men have set out to explore, understand, and change their often unsatisfactory couple circumstances. I found a real hunger for the rules, the laws of nature that apply to all couples and individuals. For example, why do we always end up with the same type of man or woman? Why, after falling in love for the first time, does our partner display behaviors that have always annoyed us, that we reject, perhaps even despise? Why is there a problem at work? When you read the first few pages, you might think that it can't be that simple. Yes, it can be. However, there is a price to pay. Only when you are prepared to look for more than just the other person to blame, only when you start to take a curious interest in the problem and its dynamics instead of being against something, a dynamic that has to do with you, then it really becomes simple. Because a good relationship with yourself is the essential prerequisite for a successful relationship with others. This is a quote by Ernst Andreas Statter. In my more than 30 years of experience in this area, new ways of looking at things and looking at ourselves usually change everything, including the behavior of our partner, for example. Many years ago, I would have found it much easier to overcome a relationship crisis if I had known then what I know now, and maybe my own divorce wouldn't have been necessary back then. My good friend Beatrice, an intelligent, well-educated scientist with a doctorate, once said to me, somewhat annoyed, "But why? What do you want? I've drawn the consequences from my dilemma. I've just started avoiding men." Too bad about their joy, too bad about their happiness. An old pastor once told me that he had been marrying couples for over 30 years. And in all those years, he had almost never been wrong about how things would go with these couples. That made me curious, and when I asked him about it, he said, "Whenever I sensed a big difference between the two partners, I listened carefully and felt what it was like between them. And whenever I could see that there was a desire on one or even both sides to change the other, I could predict with some certainty that this marriage would not work out." Isn't that interesting? In short, you can't change the other person. However, your own change changes everything, including the other person. This book is a guide to self-help, because you can get quite far without a therapist, provided you have the willpower and curiosity. Of course, professional offers of help then provide enormous support. They turbocharge your own development. And a word of encouragement to all those who are already in crisis. The Chinese translation of our word crisis is the opportunity that rides the dangerous wave. With this in mind, seize the opportunity. You are already on your way. I wish you the willingness, courage, and an open mind to make things happen. The hero in fairy tales always has a princess or a treasure or the kingdom beckoning, but first he has to go on an adventure or defeat the dragon. And it's the same with us. In this book you will find the difficult things first, the easy ones last. Reason. You may be able to read about the easy topics elsewhere, not the difficult ones, and yet these are the answers you were looking for. And since almost every reader takes a break halfway through a non-fiction book, the difficult, important things are at the front. I have deliberately simplified the context here. This does not mean superficiality, but can be a great help for the reader when analyzing their own problems. All the cases described happened in exactly the same way. However, I have changed the names to protect these people. Each case is a separate story, and yet they all follow and followed the laws that apply to all of us in love. Note, when I talk about patient or client, this comes from the work I do in my practice. Not everyone who has a relationship problem or simply wants to take better care of their relationship is a patient. Please allow me to simply speak of partner and mean man and woman. It will then be easier to read and also to write.